Hey, welcome back to JB Breaks Free. Happy Thursday. I hope you're having a great day, a blessed day, and getting 1% better than yesterday. And breaking free from whatever's holding you back from being the best version of yourself that you can be. That's been my mission here on this channel, and for a few years before I started this channel. I've only looked back to see how far I've come. Pretty proud of how far I've come, but every day is a practice. There's so much more I want to learn and to get better at. Before I get into today's topics, which are some life lessons to learn before it gets too late, a little talk about anxiety and happiness, and a brief talk about doing what you love. Before I get into that, I did do some Instacart and Spark deliveries and shops this morning. I made $68 multi-apping. I would consider, if I were you, check out the Spark app. It's for Walmart delivery. It's pretty much similar to Instacart, but I'm actually noticing more deliveries, which is nice. Kind of get you out of the store a little bit. Each has their pros and cons. I like the fact that I'm multi-apping now, that all my eggs are not in one basket, and my eggs are getting pretty spread out. I got the restaurant job, I got Spark, I got Instacart. There's other ones that I want to try and show: Uber, DoorDash, Uber Eats and stuff. Check out multi-apping. It will lessen your downtime, and I think it will make your mornings and days much more profitable. While I was making a delivery today, and I think it was for Walmart, I went to, I guess, a kind of a sketchy neighborhood and met a creepy, mean, threatening guy. I was not too happy about it. I get to this house, and it's like, put the bags on the porch, put the bags on the porch. And I'm looking around. I didn't see a porch out back, and it just looked disheveled. I'm looking out front, and there was no porch. It's kind of like if you went along the side, and there was a side door, so I'm assuming, so it's an inside porch. I'm like, okay. I hate going inside as it is, and I open the door, and I'm just immediately just struck by kind of grossness and dirtiness of it. Okay. And there's this big guy standing there. He goes, "Don't you dare pull up into my driveway when you're making food deliveries here again." And I'm assuming it was an apartment, because like there was a person here and a person here inside, and then the person here who I was delivering to kind of came out second. And I just looked at the guy who kind of caught me off guard. I go, okay, sure. And I set it right down, and I back out of there. And I'm like, oh jeez. I'm like, what the heck, So in the app, I hit thumbs down. No, I did not enjoy that process. I put that I was threatened and harassed by a tenant in the building. I mean, what's this guy doing? Can't park in the driveway to make a delivery. I don't know. It just seemed pretty sketchy to me. So just be careful going in places. That's my least favorite part about Walmart delivery or Spark and Instacart, is going into apartments, and you just never know what's going to happen, or houses. So just be careful. In my rounds today, I found this bad boy. Merry Hawaiian Christmas. Now, I might have to hold this, but this was the first record on the stack. Just called out to me. I just pulled up my eBay on my iPhone and Googled it in. It seems to be going for about $20, and that's fine with me. I'll pay $1 for it. I might even sit on it until next November, but $20 record I will always take. So I was happy about that. And now to get into a little bit of today's topics: 9 lessons to learn before it gets too late. And once you figure these out, I think it's going to really help on your journey to freedom and being the best version of yourself. The first is that nobody has it all figured out. I think we're all just kind of winging it, right? Day by day. I mean, we're all doing the best that we can, and if we're not doing the best that we can, then we should be. And I wish that I could reach more people in the service industry and waiters, and just kind of help them know that there's just a better way. And anyone who's struggling, I hope I can continue to reach somebody new who might need to hear it. But nobody has it all figured out. I used to think that my dad and my parents did. I just wanted to be 42 and go to work every day and come home and have dinner and have a house or a place to live and make whatever it is that you're going to make per week, 600 to 800,000 more. And that's it, right? Life was easy after that. What else is there to worry about? You know somebody, you have a partner, you have a place to live, you have a job. What else is there? But there's a lot more to it, huh? And every day I think we're all just kind of winging it. And those people that you might think are ahead of you, first of all, they're not. And second of all, you don't know the problems that they are having, and they certainly don't have it figured out either. So no one has it all figured out. And I think we're on the path of figuring it out. So I think that's a good thing. Embrace all your emotions. Number 2, embrace all your emotions. Don't mask, don't cover them. Embrace them. Be in touch with the feelings that you have so you know that you can work on them, and it's okay to be sad. It's okay to be upset, to be angry. But I think the trick is, the philosophy of it is how you respond. And we're going to talk a little bit more about anxiety in the next part of this video, but with stress. Okay, I'm stressed. What can you do? Can you breathe? Can you get that stress out in a positive way? You're sad. Can you cope with it in a positive way? You're angry. You're hurt. You're let down. You're afraid. I felt all of those, and I think I've tried to mask those at one point in my life, perhaps my 20s, and even now, those emotions come, but I'm better at dealing with them and coping with them, and through meditation, exercise, diet, rest, time will all help us process our emotions. Don't mask them, process them, and deal with them the right way. Number 3, unlearning is just as important as learning. And I think if you're trying to break free, then you have a lot of unlearning to do, right? That work hard and you'll be a success. That failures, there's nothing to gain from failures. To sit still, to not question, to satisfy every urge that you have, that what's on the radio and television is true. There's a lot of things to unlearn, and I'd like to do a video more in depth about that. Number 4, never let your inner child die. Stay young at heart. Snow angels, snowballs, water slides, anything that can make you laugh, silly stuff. Even some nostalgia, keep your inner child alive. And my wife says that she has 3 kids in the house because sometimes I'm crazier than the kids. And I love that part of me, I guess. I've always kind of been like that. I like getting the kids riled up and just being goofy and having a fun time. So never let your inner child die. And it doesn't matter what anyone else thinks, which we will get to, of course. Number 5, don't buy your kids the things that you didn't have. Teach them the things that you didn't learn. This is one of my main goals. Luckily, we're not too much into stuff. They have more than what they need stuff-wise, toy-wise. I have brought them to more mini vacations for sure than I've ever been on. I really didn't go anyplace as a kid for many different reasons. And which I'm not really sure why. I don't know if it's like my mom didn't really want to go anywhere, and her dad, who I love and miss, I don't think he might have been sort of an introvert, maybe some anxiety there. I can get that a little bit with me for sure. Maybe the relationship between my parents at the time wasn't conducive to traveling. So, we do that aspect. I try to give them that, but my main goal is to teach them what I necessarily didn't know. To be yourself, that college isn't 100% necessary, that save your money and also invest, to take care of your body, that health is wealth. Lots of things. I know a lot of things I probably tuned out when I was a kid, but I want to give them that knowledge at a really young age and reinforce it positively with them. And I guess that's all you can really do, but they will know some of the tricks I figured out in my 30s, hopefully I can teach them as teens and give them a head start. Number 6, if you care too much about what people think, you're essentially a slave to them. Your boss, your neighbor, your friends, strangers. Don't care what people think. Be you. Be the you that you are, uniquely, individually. I don't care as much about what people think anymore as far as how I dress, where I live. There's people with bigger houses, but mine's paid off. Might be people with bigger trucks, but mine's paid off. Might be people with fancier clothes, but I'm comfortable. I don't really care about what people think, and that will set you free, and that's something that we need to learn before it's too late. Number 8, one thing that I practice, and sometimes I'll kick myself when I don't succeed, is to listen to understand. Don't listen to respond. You don't always have to have a response. You don't always have to have an opinion. But you can listen and understand, and sometimes when you open your mouth, you sound a little foolish, right? And sometimes when you open your mouth, you can be confrontational. Sometimes it's better just to listen to understand. You don't always have to have a response. And finally, something we've been talking a little bit about lately is putting yourself first. You cannot pour from an empty cup. Take care of yourself first before you help others, which can be a barrier to self-care. Helping others first, putting yourself on the back burner, or not even thinking that you're worthy enough to be taken care of first before others. You are. Take care of yourself first as an employee, as a father, as a husband, as a friend, as a person in the community and of the world. I have to take care of myself first. If I didn't, I'd be sleeping right now. I'd be hungover. I'd be unhealthy. I'd be at the doctor's office. I'd be anxious and depressed. I wouldn't have my stuff done. If I'm able to take care of myself, I'm able to be there for others. And that's where I want to be more and more each day. I want to be sitting right here talking to you. It's something that I really enjoy. And for those in my direct community. The next topic today, anxiety and happiness, something that we always got to practice. We talk about it quite a bit on this channel. Anxiety can get us, but boy, what a life it is, like we just talked about. What a life it is if you're not anxious. How much happier that you can be. A couple of Stoic quotes on anxiety and happiness. The first by Epictetus. What upsets people is not things themselves, but their judgment of these things. It's not the thing itself, it's the judgment of these things. Is it work tonight? Because why? It's going to be too busy for me. The customers might be tough. My boss might get after me. Maybe it'll be slow. Maybe I won't get a good tip. What upsets people is not the things themselves. Somebody cut me off in traffic. Somebody hurt my ego. Somebody did kind of hurt my ego for half a second on Facebook Marketplace. I usually don't take the bait, but someone was bickering about a price that I had, and I go, do you price check everyone or just me? And again, he had a snarky comment and then deleted me before I could even say anything. And oh my God, I took the bait, and it wasn't my the message didn't upset me. It was my judgment of the message. And of course, I've seen stuff online too, where I want to go to the person and be like, what are you pricing that like that for? But you just kind of got to let that stuff go. And for one time, I was feeling a little frisky, and I figured it out. It was just my judgment. And then the next thing is, true happiness is enjoying the present without anxious dependence on the future. And anxious dependence, if we're dependent on something, maybe we're not free. So I think it's also good to cast that anxiety aside, to be happy, to work on your freedom every day so you're not dependent on the future. It's easy to say when you've accomplished a lot of those things. I don't have a lot of maybe I could use more stuff, right? Or want more stuff. But what I have right now is a decent bit of freedom. Things that come up during the month, we can relatively pay for. We don't have any debt. I've worked on myself mentally to calm anxiety and fear, where I can be happy and aware of the present moment. That I'm not necessarily dependent on this or that. I have a relative amount of freedom, and that's a beautiful place to be. And it's worth so much more than an expensive thing sitting on a shelf or any inanimate object. The freedom that I get from putting myself in this position, from minimalism and financial independence and philosophy and exercise and diet, which I need to still improve on, it's just freer and freer and freer, and that's the path that I'm going, and that is a happy path. So it's your judgment of things, not the things themselves, and enjoy the present without anxious dependence. Work on your freedom. And the last thing I wanted to talk about today is that every sensible person makes a living by doing things they enjoy. And how many people do not like their job right now? I would be curious to know, and how many do. And that's awesome. I hope more people say they do than don't. But there is a different way. There is a way to break free, to make life play, to gamify life, even on your escape. You might be trapped now, and you might be trapped for a while. But when I made it a game. That, okay, I was going to work with a plan to pay down my debt, a plan to find something else that I could possibly do, a plan to set aside a little bit of money, even outside of debt and outside of this or that, for a freedom fund that I have in a brokerage account that would let me cut back on my hours if was necessary. And now I've found a peaceful place at my job now, but that job's going to not always be there. And one day my boss may change his mind about how he wants to treat me. And I have backup plans. And that's freedom. And he knows that. And I know that. And there's a quote that says, okay, you got hit. You got hit by real life. Boom. Okay? The person who threw it now knows what you can take and how you respond, right? And life is a game. We can respond. How we respond is within our control. And I choose to respond by bettering myself, helping others, and working towards freedom and being the best version of myself that I can be. I hope you're doing it too. Let me know how you're doing, and I'll talk to you on the next video. Break free.